My name is Nik and Aaron, and you are locked into Culture TV. For the culture, by the culture. Let's go.
Aaron, thanks so much for coming in today, mate.
No problem, Nick.
How you doing?
I'm good, yeah.
Yeah?
Still managing to, keep our hands in the game through all this, hoping for the best, really. And in the UK, at least, it looks as though we're getting into a better position, but
18 months later.
Still a bit sketchy. Still a bit sketchy for Europe and that, isn't it? But
it was weird because we was in a very similar predicament. So we just got our visas for America in the December, gone. So we had a whole diary booked up for out there. We just spent a month in Australia. We just come back in Feb, and we had Asia, America, Europe all planned for 2020. And there was also like the year where we'd been building to that. That was like, you know how music goes. It's peaks and troughs, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that was like the peak that we'd been building to over like 3 years.
Right.
Of like releasing, hype building, and this was like, this is the year where we're gonna cash in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then fucking stay at home.
Yeah.
Do not leave your house.
That's gutting. We definitely we really want to get out to the States. Australia would be great as well, but yeah.
Yeah, America. Have you done America?
No, not yet. No.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Class.
They're different out there. I mean, like, it's weird. Like, it's kind of the same, but just American culture is just a bit more wild out, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
they seem to be a lot more. I mean, like, obviously we've embraced influencer culture and all that kind of stuff in this country a lot more now. But they seem to be a lot more comfortable with people being ostentatious and wealthy and not hiding the fact that they're doing great and all that kind of stuff. They sort of celebrate that. You know what I mean?
You know what it is with Americans? Like, in England, like, an impression that I get would be that people, if you're doing well, you seem, and you talk about it, you seem like a twat. And people don't like it.
Yeah.
And people think, oh, he's up himself, he's arrogant, he thinks he's all this and that.
Yeah.
Whereas in America, you're doing well, man, you're fucking killing it. You're going to be a millionaire. Go on, man. Like, it's a whole different energy about it. It's more supportive. And I don't know, maybe it's just the culture of the country. It's a new country as well, and I think there's like a historical energy behind it.
Yeah, definitely. That's certainly. I think certainly growing up as well, I really sort of thought of as America as this sort of amazing place. You know what I mean? It was all our TV and film and everything was from there. So
yeah,
it was. I mean, it's a bit more complex as you get older with war. Wars that they've been involved in and stuff, and us as well.
From like a foreign. I mean. It's weird, like, because I'm the same, like, when I, obviously growing up, watching American films, listening to, like, American rap music, all of that was, like, it was just stars in my eyes just looking at America or thinking about it. And I remember the first time I went over there to perform, or in fact, just the first time I went over there in general, I was just blown away by it, and it was everything that I hoped it would be. Like, I loved it. Like, I absolutely loved it. When I first went to New York, a good friend of mine, she'd started a business out there, and she had this amazing apartment in Manhattan, and she was like, yo, Nick, come and stay. So I had like a week off. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna catch a flight out there. Just bombed out there, stayed there for a week, and it was like right in where everything is. It was right near, I mean, there weren't any trade centers at the time,
right? Yeah,
they were long gone, but it was just down the road from Ground Zero. Right. It was like you could see Statue of Liberty from the waters. It was just a short walk away. All like the big site, all the famous sites like Times Square. Everything was all so close by. And yeah, I just loved it. And because she was still working. I was just like, just getting about on my own, doing my own thing.
That's class.
And it was like,
because you won't have sort of experienced it as a tourist. You'd have probably soaked it up a little bit, even though it was a week or so. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like go out, find what you're doing for the day, and I loved it. And then when I started going there with work and that, I loved it even more. But there is two sides to that place. Like the East Coast and the West Coast, they're very much like totally forward thinking like places. Very much like here, very much like Manchester or London or Birmingham. But when you get in the middle bit, and it's a bit different.
Yeah, all the Republican voting states, basically.
Yeah. It's crazy because it's just so polarised.
Yeah, I see it's getting a lot more like that here, though, isn't it? It's like, it's scary.
It's weird how Britain is very much following suit with that.
Yeah.
How we've got we did have two blonde lunatics running the country.
Exactly, yeah.
Not so long ago. And it's weird how the timelines have married up in parallel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how can we get a blonde lunatic at the same time that you lot do?
Yeah, it's weird. I think the sort of the nature of politics has changed so much since, like, the social media coming into it and stuff, and I think people being able to be targeted and have narratives pointed at people, you know what I mean, that other people don't necessarily see. I think it's easy to sort of, and people can see what people respond well to, so and it's commercially driven a lot as well, so you'll have like the Daily Mail putting out shit about immigrants or whatever and go, millions of people click on that and want to hear that, so we'll do more of that. Do you know what I mean? And that's there's a bit of a, I don't know what comes first, whether it's people's hatred or the media moguls putting it on people, or it's just it breeds, you know, it's people.
I think you raise a good point. No, it's social media. So through social media, obviously you can target whoever you want. So Daily Mail readers traditionally, I mean, being a bit stereotypical here, so just bear with me. But, traditionally a more right-wing audience.
Yes, yeah.
And with a right-wing audience, you tend to find people with more extreme beliefs when it comes to race, religion, and social classes. If that
yeah.
So to then say, the immigrants are invading, we need Brexit, get it done.
Yeah.
They're going to click that, and not all of them, but a proportion of them, a large proportion of them, probably most of them, maybe all of them. I'm only joking. We'll click on that and buy right into it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And you know what really, what was scary, and I don't know if this is the same for you, but I'm guessing it is. Do you remember Brexit night?
Yeah.
Did you not think, without a shadow of a doubt, it would be a Remain?
I was kind of scared that it wouldn't be. But yeah, I mean, my social media, the people I work with and stuff like that, like everybody was shell shocked when I went in the office the next day. But that's it, because like I was saying before, you're siloed, you algorithmically, you know, you got exactly, yeah. So you hear what you hear, and a lot of people. I mean, there's probably people I work with as well that voted that way. I know my parents voted to leave, but won't necessarily come out with it because they sort of got people around them going, oh, definitely we should stay and all that kind of stuff, and they didn't want to be seen as xenophobic or whatever, and people might have, some people have voted for it for the best intentions totally and everything, but,
definitely.
But
I was just like, who though? Where are they? Where's this 18 million people? Where?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because funnily, my mum voted leave, right, as well. I'm mixed race, right, so my mum's clearly not racist.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But she voted leave for, I can't remember what it would be. I think it was NHS or some reason. I think the 350 million quid.
I think the sovereignty thing was a strong argument, wasn't it? You know, like being able to sort of make our own decisions and all that kind of thing. But by the same token, then they should allow Scottish independence and everything else, shouldn't they? Where do you stop?
Yeah, well, it's a dodgy one. That if the Scots go, England and Wales? What are we going to do with them? But why isn't that really United?
Need a different flag anyway.
It's not really the UK, is it? It was just England and Wales. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a weird time, isn't it? And I feel like this polarisation is almost like a theme. Check us on politics, right?
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah.
But I do feel like it's a running theme that we've seen in both like the UK and America, and now I feel like we've done left wing and right wing, and I think now it's vaxxed or non-vaxxed.
Yeah.
That's the next big polarisation.
Yeah.
Except vax will win.
Yeah.
Because everyone's vaxxed.
Yeah, but apparently 75% of adults in this country now, isn't it? But yeah, that's these friends of mine on Facebook and stuff like that are
Have you vaxxed?
I'm vaxxed, yeah.
Are you vaxxed because you know you're not gonna do any more shows unless you do.
Well,
or you vaxxed.
I'm generally like trusting of the medical profession and experts and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't really buy into the sort of the conspiracy theories around it, because you go, I don't get who gains apart from pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
There isn't enough of a gain for to collapse the whole shit that's going on. Do you know what I mean? To completely ground the world to a halt.
No.
I don't know really who benefits. I don't know the pharmaceutical companies, and you know, I don't know what conspiracy theories are, but I can't imagine that there's you know, politicians going, yeah, okay, right, well, I've got some shares in AstraZeneca, so. Let's
put out some dodgy vaccine that's going to kill him. And for starters, Boris, there's not a chance in this world that Boris could organise a conspiracy like that.
Well, let's say it would take all the governments of the world agreeing.
All of them.
Yeah. And which we can't agree on anything normally, so.
No.
Surprising, wouldn't it?
No, I don't believe in anything, that there's anything in the vaccine apart from stuff to stop you getting COVID.
I mean, you know, there could be. I mean, there have been historical incidences of vaccines causing things, you know, but I think it's a balance of risks thing personally. You go, what's worse, getting COVID or having some protection from it? So, and I've got like, you know, my mother-in-law lives with us, who's like in her 70s. So,
have you had it?
So I'm double jabbed.
Have you had COVID though?
No. Not so far, anyway. Not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of.
It could have been asymptomatic. But
I had it asymptomatically.
Right.
Well, so I mean, I had minor symptoms, but my girlfriend, she was quite ill with it.
Right.
So that's obviously. She did it. She got a test, positive. Quite ill with it. I had a test, positive. Snivelly nose.
Mad.
It's weird. It's weird how it picks who's gonna get ill and
it's weird. Yeah.
But I think it's going to be. I think it's interesting to see how the future of live shows are going to be affected by all of this. I think you're going to have vaxxed shows are going to be mandatory. I think they're not going to be able to have people in who've not had a vaccine. I think that from September in the UK.
I think they've sort of indicated it might be going that way, haven't they? Certainly for nightclubs and things. It becomes difficult. I think where the tipping point for venues and nightclubs might be, well, you know, like you say, you've got 75% of people are vaccinated, and they might look at it purely economically and go, there's enough of an audience there for us to say, yeah, we'll go along with the government. But I don't think, maybe they won't be given a choice. It's a tough one. I don't really like to think of people being excluded from anything, whether that be artists or the public or whatever, but.
This is the problem. I've not had my vaccine yet, purely because when I had COVID, they say you've got to wait 6 weeks before every vaccine. So my 6 weeks was up about 2 weeks ago, and I've just not had time. But I will get my vax done. But what I'm not into is the idea that your freedoms or rights or abilities to do stuff will be restricted if you are not conforming to a government policy.
It's dodgy, isn't it?
And I think that's a slippery slope. Maybe in this particular instance, fine, it's a vaccine, whatever, it's just going to stop you getting ill from COVID. Maybe that's all fine, but the smoking gun is that if you don't do it, you're not going out. Like in America, no restaurants, no bars, no gyms in New York unless you're double vaccinated.
But I mean, I think it'll probably states where they'll tolerate that. Would they apply those kind of rules? I don't imagine they're doing that in Texas, and I don't. You know, so it's like
no way.
So, but I mean, all through this sort of Trump's campaign period and stuff like that is, you know, calling it a hoax and shit like that. I think that's
the China virus.
He's baked a lot of just skepticism into that populace, basically.
He's put skepticism into politics in general.
I mean, he's an interesting guy.
The Capitol riots. I mean, he blatantly said it. You've seen the footage of him saying that we're going to march to the Capitol building and make sure Mike Pence does this and does that. And they did. They marched to the Capitol building and they went looking for Mike Pence. Mike Pence was in a bunker somewhere. Jesus. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It was weird. I kind of missed the sort of the daily
update on it.
Yeah, like because he was so. I mean, that was part of the thing. He sort of he controlled the media agenda so much because he could just put out a tweet every day and just like there's a story. Do you know what I mean? Just But if the number of things he survived, like grab him by the pussy and all that kind of shit, I'm like. I don't know. No way in this country would you got away with that. Not a chance.
He'd be cancelled immediately.
Yeah. So, but
you know what? You could see like what I found quite interesting is that you could see that he knew he'd gone too far. Like, because he started acting a bit more sheepish. You know, in his statements, like everyone needs to go home now. And And then, we don't advocate violence. Well, you did 3 days ago when you thought you were having a revolution.
Yeah.
But when you realised that's not quite happening, and now you're on the verge of getting done for insurrection, we should have put him in jail.
Crazy.
It's like we've lived through a film. Isn't it?
No, that's great. You just would never expect it. You'd never expect it in America. You sort of you'd expect it in sort of I don't know, third world countries or something like that maybe. But it's bizarre.
You'd expect it in underdeveloped countries, but not in America or the UK.
No.
And I think it's just. I mean, if you're looking at like enemies of not enemies, but like that competitors to the UK and America, like China and Russia, they must be looking and laughing because their political system is iron cast, especially in Russia. It's literally iron cast that, and that's never going to change. Putin's is he not signed into like 2050?
I think he was out. I think he was. Didn't he step aside and then come back in somehow? I don't know. Don't follow.
He's changed the laws though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Did you see?
I think that's what Trump wanted, didn't he? Sort of go, why can't I do that? Why can I only do 2 terms?
Did you see his 60 Minutes interview?
Vladimir Putin?
Yeah.
No.
He comes across surprisingly well. Like, he's very well media trained.
Right.
And he ripped, like, there was some British journalist interviewing him. He was trying to be really, like, hard and like, pinning him down, and he just wiped the floor with him. He had an answer for everything.
He's got to have something about it, man. He must have, like, charisma and all that kind of thing going on.
You don't become that powerful.
No, exactly.
Without that. Yeah, it's very, very strange times. Very strange times. So do you think you're going to be able to get abroad then this year with the band?
We've got Pars Pop, a Netherlands festival in September, I think, that we're hoping to get out to. It's just a bit unclear at the moment as to what the restrictions are for us getting out there. And then I think that's it for the out in Europe.
What's the visa issue?
I think visas are okay. I think you mean, but in terms of Brexit, I think they've softened that for some countries. I think there's bits like carnets and stuff, and you have to declare. There's complications merchandise-wise and all that kind of boring stuff. But it makes it was expensive. You didn't really make much in Europe anyway, but you make less after Brexit, and then obviously add COVID to it, and it becomes very difficult.
You guys have got to take all that equipment with you, haven't you?
Yeah. Like we have like merch and stuff that we would take with us.
So do you have to drive there?
Some of it, like sometimes we'll fly, and then the crew will drive, or we'll all drive. Depends on what everybody's availability is. But it's a bit of a a lot of the time when you go around Europe, it's 8 hours in a van between one place and another. But it's top because you yourself on it, you're touring and everything. You just seen loads of different places, and it's can't really moan about it.
Our equipment's just a USB pen, so it's
glass.
We could just fly. It's just dead easy for us. Like literally anywhere in the world, USB. Backup USB.
Happy days. We do have a little bit of that. We have some stuff, tracks like synths and keys and shit like that. So, but we have instruments as well. So, and then all the t-shirts and stuff that we flog to people.
Do you think there's been, in your experience, like about 10 years ago, you could say that there was a lot of guitar bands who you would see dominating in the charts, you would see dominating on radio.
Yeah.
There's certainly been a decline of that.
Totally.
And why do you think that's happened, and how do you see that going moving forward?
I think people, just the people or the media or whatever get bored of one thing, don't they? And then and things move on. But I mean, we've got a electronic element to what we do, so we're not purely guitar band, but and there are some guitar bands coming through now, like Blossoms and Ladams and Blinders and But I'm not saying like there's nothing like Oasis level massive.
Exactly. That's,
I think it's just I don't know. It's just I think as well like it's difficult to have a big unifying movement like that. I think in all genres are very like we were talking about politically before, and like people can be very, very well known and popular within their own field, and not known to not be a household name necessarily, but earn a living out of it and do quite nicely and all that. So it's like
without a doubt.
But I don't think people take a blind bit of notice of what's in the charts most of the time.
No, not anymore.
But certainly not my age anyway. No. But I don't feel as though like people know what's number one from one week to next in terms of singles. Albums different, certainly in our genre of music. Album charts still are relevant to people. Yeah. But really, that people are just interacting with what's trending on YouTube, what's in the background of a TikTok video, what's on the Spotify playlist. Those things are more important. Than.
How are you guys reaching your fan base now? Primarily through Spotify.
Well, we get new people come all the time through Spotify. But mainly live. It was live, you know what I mean? It was mainly like word of mouth and people going, "Oh, I've just seen this band at this," and it was festivals were massive for us. So like we went in 2019. Sorry, we went out to Europe and did Rockworcher and Mad Cool and Madrid and loads of others, and it was you're picking up a few hundred people every time, and then they tell the mates, and it grows like that. But and then there's bits of YouTube, bits of Spotify, bits of Apple Music probably in there as well, but. Facebook has been massive for us. Support slots. We supported James in 2017. That was the biggest thing to give us an audience around the UK. Yeah. But yeah, what about yourself? Is it yours mainly Spotify or is it?
Spotify, yeah. Most definitely for us. It's our biggest audience on Spotify and YouTube, I would say. Right. Facebook's big for us as well. Instagram. But really to like consume like people to consume music, I'd say Spotify. We make steady money off that.
Right. Oh, cool.
Which has been good. Certainly past like 3 years, we've done like financially done like reasonably well out of it. It was good during the pandemic because it just kept coming.
Oh, right. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, people will be streaming a hell of a lot more, won't they, in that period?
Especially when there's no gigs and it's like all the gigs are just gone. God, it was horrendous. Like, gives me anxiety.
Have you guys done any gigs yet since it's been relaxed now?
We got offered this tour, right? So we got offered. It was middle of September to November, just going out to America Thursday, Friday, Saturday every week. So come back on a Sunday, chill here for 4 days, go back on the Thursday because the flights are dirt cheap. So that was the route we were going to do. So every weekend from middle of September to middle of November. Decent money, everything. I was like, yeah, this is looking good. Our manager's in Australia, so he's like messaging us at 4 a.m. Get up, you can. We've got some bloody good news. So we're like, yeah, sick. Let's do it. Fucking travel ban. Couldn't get the visa stamped.
Shit.
So we couldn't do it. So that was like depressing. That was depressing. But I think really. I'm not too asked about doing shows until next year now. I think like February, March next year we'll get. At the minute we're just like stacking up like a bunch of new projects, like 3 new EPs. I need to get double vaxxed. I can't fly without that.
Right. Yeah.
Need to get all new visas because most of our audience, it used to be primarily in the UK, but now it's like Europe, America, and Australia.
Brilliant.
So. It's a mission for us.
Yeah.
Every time. Even like America will do a weekend and come back. Like we do that quite often. I'm used to sleeping on planes now, so it's like I don't mind.
God, I can't do it.
Can't you?
Jim in our band is like, we'll just sleep anywhere. Like our bass player Jim, just like I'm so envious of him.
Yeah.
We'll be back just within like a couple of minutes of being in the van. He's just out. I cannot do it.
Can't you? Can I sleep on a plane?
No. I mean, I'll sit there on my phone or like on a Switch or something like that, and like or reading or whatever.
Yeah.
I should probably just concentrate on trying to sleep, but I can't. Yeah, unless I'm really, really knackered.
Yeah.
I can't sleep now. I don't know if he has like pills or like sleeping pills or something.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah. My dad's got these sick ones. Like you take one and it's literally you take it, glass of red wine, half an hour later, you've gone, and you've gone for 4 hours. Like it's like clockwork.
And do you feel refreshed after that, or do you not feel a bit mad?
No, it's like the ones my dad's got. They're from the doctor. They're not like some dodgy ones from Tesco. Like the proper ones.
Right.
And literally, you take it, and it's like someone goes like off, and you just get turned off and put on standby, and then you get.
I like the sound of that actually.
And you're fresh, like don't feel groggy, like you're totally alert, ready to go. So like if you're doing Australia, like get on the plane, get a bit pissed, watch a film, take your first tablet, wake up in Dubai, get off the plane, get a scran. Next plane, that's a 17-hour flight. Do the same thing, get pissed, have some food, tablet 1, 4 hours, wake. Now you've done 8 hours.
Right, class.
So you just keep this routine going.
That sounds good. That sounds like you've got it sorted to me.
Yeah,
man. Have to have a word with your dad's doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, I think we're just gonna hang tight till next year now, and
yeah,
I'm not sure how. Just let this year play out. This is sort of the recovery year, isn't it? In a sense,
yeah.
We're sort of seeing the end of the pandemic through.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We've got we had our tour was the UK tour was the second time it's been postponed, so we're the end of September. We'll be out. That's what.
So where are you playing then from September?
Sheffield, Liverpool, Blackburn, Warrington, and then down south Cambridge, Portsmouth, London. I can't remember the others. Sorry to whoever's watching, but yeah, it's a good run of shows. I think we've got Camden Electric Ballroom and Warrington Power Hall and Liverpool Academy and stuff like that. Some big rooms. So yeah,
amazing. Have you got? Is a ticket link out?
Yeah, it's just the slowreadersclub.co.uk. Yeah.
Right, so we'll put that in the description here. Make sure people can get tickets to that.
Cool. Yeah.
Are you excited for it?
Yeah, buzzing. I mean, we did Tramlines Festival a couple of weekends ago, and it was just that was our first gig back after all this. I mean, we did some live stream shows and shit over the pandemic sort of period, but yeah, it was just mad to see people and to go. I think our last gig before that was beginning of 2020 in Ireland, where there were like 300-400 cap shows, and then to go from that to the first gig back being like 5,000 people or whatever it was.
Oh really?
It was mad. It was a bit scary.
Non-socially distanced?
No, it was like a test event, so it was everybody had been either jabbed or
tested
had a test. Yeah. So
amazing.
It was mad, yeah, because it was like looking out. Nobody was in masks or anything. It was just like it was normally before.
Didn't it feel like during say back in January, it just seemed like an impossible task, didn't it?
It was hard to imagine it ever coming back. Really, it's just. It's frightening. I mean, it's still, it's not gone away, has it? It's still. I think other countries are still struggling with it, and it feels like there's light at the end of the tunnel, but it's not. We're not done yet.
No, it's not done yet. But we are getting slowly back to some form of normality.
But I think one of the things it's good for is like it's opened up different things for us. Like I said, when we did live stream shows, and we did. We were one of the first bands to do record our own bits and then stitch it all together and then chat to camera and stuff and like yourself, obviously you're a sort of natural presenter yourself, but we don't really do that. We'll chat a little bit like so what the next tune is where are you from or whatever. The basics of stage stuff. But exactly. But it's sort of learned. Made us branch out a little bit and interact in different ways. And we set up a Patreon and where we shared loads of tracks that we hadn't put out there before and behind the scenes stuff. So it's been good to sort of try out new stuff like that. But
how were you creatively during that period?
Well, initially we had when we couldn't tour, we just thought, well, all of this is taken out of our hands. We were then still sort of in a decent financial position and everything, so we were just like, well, we'll just write another record. Yeah. And I don't know looking back on it if it was wise to release another record in the same year, because we maybe should have sat on it for a little bit longer. But it was good. We did an album called 91 Days in Isolation, and we wrote that remotely, where we'd sit in a practice room and write together. Whereas this time round, it'd be like, I'd start something on keys or do a guitar idea first, or David do drums or whatever, and it's or Jimmy would do a bass line and we'd build on top of that. But yeah, it was and it was a really different way of working and freed us up a little bit and brought some different kinds of tunes out of us. And I think we're keeping that as part of our arsenal now, if you know what I mean. Right. So that it won't all be in practice room anymore. I mean, partly because we're all working against in different things and on different hours, so it's harder to get together as regularly as we did. So we're having to do a little bit remotely anyway.
I think that's kind of one of the benefits that have come out of this whole thing, is that we're all a bit more cooler with working digitally.
Yeah.
And via Zoom and what it feels a lot more natural now.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas pre-pandemic, it was like, nah, you wouldn't even consider it.
Yeah.
You might have a Zoom call, like, because you've got it, but you wouldn't be like living your life.
No, it's weird. I think I was always a text. I'll be on WhatsApp or whatever. I'll text people, and I very rarely speak to anybody on the phone. And I think the Zoom and Teams and shit and all that, that's really brought it around a different way. I think it's different when you can see people's expressions as well, like, because you've been on the phone with somebody, you can't always sort of read whether you said something that's pissed them off or whatever.
But you've always got that awkward moment, like when you're both logging on, it's like, "Hi, you alright? Yeah, you alright?" And then you both have that awkward smile, and then it's like, "Alright, let's crack on and get down to business." But yeah, and I think it has definitely made working remotely a lot easier. Certainly from like a creative perspective, I think it's enabled that a lot more, sort of as a cultural thing and not being seen as weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're in for it. It's going to be a bit of a ride, I think, certainly in terms of the music industry.
Yeah, totally. I think that's it. I mean, we've like I say, we did live streams as a slow music club ourselves, and then I worked with a guy called Chris Croft. We've set up a YouTube channel called Sound On. Hopefully I can mention it on here, but that's like does live sessions and stuff like that. Yeah. That's something else I've been exploring. I've been involved in a sort of branding and artist liaison of that kind of thing, and speaking to other people in the industry and helping things along. So that's been really interesting to do. Yeah. And it's just another area, and it introduces me to new music, and which is always good for creatively and everything. So.
Yeah, of course. It's good because when you're working and looking for people to bring onto a show like that, you're always looking for sort of fresh talent, aren't you?
Exactly.
You're hearing what's coming that's new, and
and we're not sort of genre specific either. It's like neither of us want it to be just about indie music or whatever. It's
just whatever's cool.
Exactly.
Whatever you're feeling. Yeah,
it's sort of broad. But we've done a bit of like. Chris has been out vlogging from festivals and stuff like that, as well as doing the sessions. It's been really cool.
Wicked. So there's quite a lot of plans with that.
It's going really well. It's we've been talking to different partners in terms of like education partners about bringing people on to sort of learn the craft of on the production side, and starting to speak to sponsors and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's exciting.
No, amazing. We'll make sure to put the link to that as well in the description as well. Any more plans for another record then?
Yeah, we've been writing in this period. Like I say, we're probably going to have a single out not so far away actually.
Okay.
That's come out of this period. But I'm not sure when the next album will be, because we've still got to pull all that together. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've got to tour. I mean, we haven't toured either of those records yet, so it'll be a bit daft to put another one out in there.
No one will know what to sing.
Get very difficult. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But so it'll probably be maybe next year, maybe the year after for the next record. I don't know, but yeah, so just looking forward to getting back out and playing live mainly.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
it's
serious.
Just been sat in my office most of the time. Going out of my mind.
Thanks so much for coming down today,
cheers,
mate. Really appreciate that.
Thanks very much.